For a period of just 12 hours on Wednesday, Kenyans contributed more than $500,000 shillings to Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna to fund his presidential campaign should he decide to officially declare his bid later this week. This comes just 2 days after residents of Olkalo in Nyandarua County also raised funds for Stanley Kamau Ngovo during his parliamentary by-election campaign. It is alleged that some of the money, however, that was donated to the newly elected Olkalo MP had originally been received by residents from Ngovo's opponent, Sami Mushina. These developments have sparked a fresh debate of whether the era of politicians bribing voters is beginning to fade. Here's David Mudhoka with that report.
He is no longer simply Edwin Wakenya Sifuna in the eyes of his supporters. He's now Edwin Wakenya Sifuna. Just hours after launching his campaign fundraising platform, commonly known as PayBill, more than 9,400 Kenyans flocked to contribute. The smallest contribution was 1 bob, while the largest was 5,000 shillings. Tuesday's events also brought back memories of Olkalo, where residents pulled together whatever they could, including 10-shilling coins, to support Stanley Ngovo's parliamentary by-election campaign. Ngovo went on to win the Olkalo parliamentary seat in Nyandarua County by a landslide. According to the residents, some of the money they donated to Ngovo had been obtained from campaign events held by his rival. Their actions have now reignited debate over whether Kenyans are growing tired of politics driven by handouts and vote buying.
My raising funds from the public put me in a position where I was answerable to the public. That when you raise money from people, it positions you to be answerable to them. Wewe ulichukua pesa yetu. Hakuna kitu inauma mwananchi kama mwanasiasa mwenye amekula pesa yake. Wewe ulikula pesa yangu wewe. So you see, and that is why Kenyans are always concerned about my political journey.
David Morara Kebaso is one of the most prominent examples of politicians who have recently turned to ordinary Kenyans to finance their political activities. At the height of the first Gen Z protests, Morara received more than 6.5 million shillings in public donations. However, after coming under heavy criticism, he was forced to refund the money he had received. Then came former Chief Justice David Maraga, who after launching his own public fundraising platform in July last year, has so far raised 8 million shillings, with donations starting from as little as 10 shillings. Could this be the new direction of financing political Kenyan activities?
If members decide to make contributions to somebody like Sifuna or somebody like any other of the other presidential candidates, if they want to fundraise or crowdsource, it will be a desirable happening for me. It will be something that moves the issues from where the dark sources that we've complained about to much more transparent and owned processes, because then the followers of these particular candidates will be making a contribution. Remember, in the US, Barack Obama, one of the ways that he was able to fund for his campaign was to get $10 from very, very many people.
Is either uchague, Wakenya wakuchague, ama Wakenya wakuchangie.
For many years, the question of who finances presidential campaigns in the country has remained shrouded in secrecy. It has often been alleged that wealthy businesses elites bankroll presidential campaigns with the expectation of receiving lucrative government contracts afterwards. As a result, elected leaders end up receiving a handful of financiers instead of the Kenyan people.
If I make a contribution to its activities, if I make a contribution to their aspirants, especially for the highest office, then I want that person to be accountable to me.
For decades, politicians in the country spent their own money so as to win over voters. Today, the voters themselves are using some of their money to back the politicians they believe in, raising one fundamental question: could the economics of Kenyan politics be changing? David Muthoka, NTV, Nairobi.